Guess it's my turn.
俺が食い止める。俺が食い止める。さっさと気をためろ。死ぬなよ、ベジータ。
Can I ask, why don't you use, I mean, you don't use your webcam because for some reason or just for...
Yeah, it's because of work. So I contractually, legally, I'm not supposed to be doing anything on the side. It's supposed to be, hey, listen, nothing on the side. We want you to be completely focused on the work that you're doing. So for that reason, if I was to show my face, I would probably get in trouble. So I don't want to risk that.
So it's just because your company cares about you working only on the company business, not because you do something related to social media.
Yeah, they don't want something else distracting you or keeping your attention away. They just want it to be like, hey,
I mean,
you know, you're one of our employees. We got 40 hours of your time. We want you to go home after, relax, chill, unwind, and then the next day you're fresh and you're back to work. We want 100% focus. That's why. Because if they found out, they'd be like, hey, what the hell is this? They'll be like, you know, contractually, you said you weren't going to do this. Fired.
They don't know the truth, man. They don't know you wait for summons, man.
Oh my god, there are days, okay, so every few weeks we have a big day that's just filled with meetings where we meet with the customer and whatnot, and we just go over everything we got done in our time. Oh my god, I struggle to stay awake on these days because I'll do the all-nighter. So it'll be like, you know, I'll take a quick nap, wake up, summons, showcases. It's like 5:30 my time. I'll maybe crank in a half-hour, 1 hour nap, but then I got to get ready, go into the office, and then it's like 5 to 6 hours of meetings. Oh my god, 10 minutes sitting in the chair, I want to fall asleep. It's awful. It's boring. The office is all beige and boring. It's a nightmare.
So you can't actually like leave your job for and live with YouTube?
I could, but it's more of like it gets really complicated when you go down that route, right? I think YouTube it's really volatile. It's uncertain.
Yeah.
You know, if you only care about next month, next 6 months, next year, maybe 2 years, okay, you know what I mean? Like you're thinking ahead, but what about 3, 5?
Yeah,
10?
you can't know if the game is going to do well in like 5 years, so...
Yeah, dude, this is a great talk. We should have recorded this. We're having a great conversation. We should have started.
Yeah, I already did since I had to.
Oh, I wasn't recording. Are you capturing my audio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. Sorry. I should. You know what? Let me just go ahead and start.
Can you introduce yourself for those who don't know you? And how long have you been creating content? How did you start on YouTube?
Sure. So my name is Ryuden. I am a Dragon Ball Legends content creator that's been on the platform for, I think, over 10 years now. My introduction to the game, like everyone else here, is we love Dragon Ball, and having that experience on the go was very appealing to us. So we tried out the game and we fell in love with it. Where my content creation journey started with Dragon Ball Legends is actually Rhyme Style. He was doing a showcase on Demon King Piccolo. You know, it was one of the very first step-ups Dragon Ball Legends did with the Red Hercule, who had endurance, and Demon King Piccolo, who stole 2 Dragon Balls from the main ability. He was doing a showcase on him. I wasn't fortunate enough to pull the character. And I noticed in his showcase video, I was one of the last fights, and I just lost completely. He wiped the floor with me.
Oh.
It was so bad. He started laughing and he's like, what are you doing, man? And I'm like, I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I'm so bad. This is terrible. I remember seeing it thinking, this is awful. How can I get better? So I actually reached out to the subreddit for the game, and I asked the question like, hey, how do I get better? And I think one of the suggestions was record yourself play, watch it yourself, see where you could do better, or better yet, why don't you upload it on YouTube? Other people can give you feedback. And that's where it started. On the journey of wanting to get better at the game, it turned into a community. Really enjoyed my time with, you know, interacting with other people that like the game. And a couple years later, here we are.
Yeah, you know what's the fun fact here? Actually,
You losing?
yeah, no, actually, the point is that I mean, I know rhyme style, but I don't know what are you talking about. You know why? Since I've started to play this game in the 4th anniversary, like 2 or 3 years ago, and another fun fact here is that one of the main reason I improved on Dragon Ball Legends is because of you. Actually, I didn't tell you probably the last time because I wanted it to be a surprise. But if you actually check our DMs on Twitch probably, you will see a conversation where you give me tips to improve to the game, man. You didn't know that probably.
I am checking that right now. Really?
Yeah, man.
I have to see this. There's no way. That's what makes it so interesting. It doesn't have to be the medium in which you talk. It's just, do you know what I mean? How something so simple can connect people together, and it just becomes friendships, and it just establishes so many different things. That's so fascinating that my experience from a different creator was in some way similar to yours with me. And guess what? You're going to be doing the same with somebody else. It's just
probably
cool how these things connect us.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
This question is related to what we talked about like a few minutes ago about your job actually. So nowadays, do you still enjoy playing Dragon Ball Legends, or does it sometimes feel like more an I would say an obligation? You know?
It's an equal amount of both, I think. It's in some part, wow, I really enjoy the combat flow of the game, because if you really think about it, what Legends did for the game it's trying to be is it's truly remarkable. It's trying to be a 1v1 fighting game on your phone. That's such a complex thing to achieve. It was honestly a smart system to tie attacking combinations onto little cards and give you just enough control for you to have some input on the character. At its core, it's a smart game. It's a fun game, but it's an equal part an obligation, because I've just been doing it for so many years now. It becomes such a critical part of my day. I honestly don't even remember what my life was like where I didn't have to do something Legends related. I didn't have to think, okay, I gotta record a video for tomorrow, or work is done, gotta record a video, or okay, I'm gonna be staying up this night because of reset, whatnot. Yeah, it's equal parts both. Still love it, but sometimes you have those days at work where you're done, you come back, you're like, oh goodness, I gotta record a Legends video.
I can feel you. I mean, I'm not doing a lot of YouTube videos, so since I don't like to do showcases or like a reaction, I mainly do like videos where I have something to tell and to talk about with my viewers, especially about game Legends related, or also my private life related. So it's not all about Legends. And if I speak about my streams, actually, to be honest with you, in the last probably few months, I'm not enjoying doing it anymore, and that's correlated with the next question, and now you will understand why. So
I'm ready.
So the next question is actually, what do you think about the current state of the game and the no skill mechanics, like the auto counter of Mageta, the green cards, the auto kill mechanics like the special beam cannon from Beast Gohan, and other brain dead and no skill mechanics?
I am pretty vocal about how much I dislike that character in particular.
I mean, I used Mageta as example, but I mean, you can use the same thing, the same concept with Beast Gohan, with like Super Saiyan Gohan, UG4, I mean, I'm talking about in general.
I think it's such a hard thing to nail here, but some of the powerful characters that they make are due to poor decisions that they've made in the past. So they make a problem and try to sell us the solution. A good example of this was the counter gauges. Why did they exist? Because they gave everybody cover nullification. That's the issue. Counter gauges exist because everybody could stop cover changes. And then what happened? We got characters that could counter gauges because nobody liked counter gauges. these new mechanics that they're introducing or these overpowered characters that they make, I'm not fond of them because, in my opinion, every character should have a weakness. So in that way, a good player can find a way to exploit it. But some characters are just the complete package. Majin Vegeta being a perfect example of it. I don't like him. I don't like that character. I think counter gauges are a big mistake. Special beam cannon is a unique case in that you can both dislike it and like it, because I sort of like it because it's a creative aspect to the character, but I dislike it because nothing can counter it. There's nothing to stop it unless you have revival or something like that. So
I don't like the special beam cannon, even though Gohan is my favorite character in general. And when a Gohan come out, actually everyone are pissed because of it, because this game is known as GOHANBALL Legends, right? But
I'm too much.
Yeah, I'm always happy with it since it's my favorite character. But at the same time, for example, I'm hating Beast Gohan so much because I'm playing like games, especially on the proud mode, where I'm beating my opponent since like 80 timer counts, and I have to lose the game and get punished because I'm playing better than my opponent and he charged his special beam cannon before me, you know? Yeah, that's kind of boring, man. I mean, that's what I don't like. I mean, it rewards people for playing worse than you. That's the main issue for me. I mean,
yeah, I'm with you. In that regard. Yeah, I don't like it either. I think it's it feels a little unfair, and it introduces a big gap between you know, somebody that does have it and somebody that doesn't. I mean, who if you don't have Beast Gohan and you gotta fight him, oof. Just a free kill for nothing.
Yeah, especially now. Also, another things that I don't like about this game are the wide range green card, and especially now with this new combat system, man. I mean, every time I have to play against Goku or Vegeta right now, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, they make me want to fucking throw my phone to the wall.
I'm with you, man. I think I've consistently said that AoE greens, they need better counters. Out of every mechanic that exists in this game, I still think AoE greens are the worst mechanic to exist because it is the most free, easy, pointless mechanic to ever exist. It gives the person everything. It's such an easy advantage. It's not fair. I say this before, like Legends can be said it's mainly like a rock paper scissors game, but the AoE green is just a gun. You just win. You beat all three. It's just so easy. We need more counters to that. It's stupid.
Yeah, I hope, for example, I hope Cell is gonna counter it maybe with a counter like Goku or Jiren or Gohan and Trunks, you know. But these three, but it needs to have it like for 3 times, not only one. One, it's kinda useless, I'd say, you know. So actually, the next question is about the combat system. Talking about the green cards, what do you think about the new combat system? And I mean, do you think they're gonna change it, or they're gonna leave it as it is right now?
I think this is a tricky one too, because I can both understand why they did it, but at the same time, I'm against it. I can understand why they did it because moving back from your opponent was almost the best choice to make in every exchange. It bought you time to be able to see what your opponent is doing, to time things, gave you the opportunity to swap to a different character. It's, in their eyes, was too powerful because it just became the #1 thing you always want to do, and they probably didn't like the idea. I can understand where the nerf came from in that regard. I am not personally a fan of it because I think any game that tries to restrict the freedom of movement from the player is more of a symptom of a different issue. I think what they should have done is first put the long range perfect vanish removal, try it out for a couple seasons, see how people feel, and then experiment with, okay, you lose a little bit of vanish when you aggressively move back. Because as it is right now, you don't really feel the long range perfect vanish removal because nobody moves the long range. So it feels like a bit of a waste there. In my opinion, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I can understand why they did it, but at the same time, I don't feel it is 100% the best move. Taking away the freedom of movement from the player never really ends up well for people, because they now feel constrained. They feel a little bit suffocated. And even if if some people say I don't feel that way, that's fine. But the fact that some players will is not good. Not every moving back is you being a passive player.
Exactly.
Sometimes you don't have a choice. It's just the right move to make.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And honestly, I mean, I can understand to why they did it. In my opinion, they also did it. I don't know if you ever played like Call of Duty.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be a competitive Call of Duty player, so I played it for like 10 years, I think. And at some point, they started to add to the Call of Duty games the skill-based matchmaking. And I think it's, I mean, they didn't like add the skill-based matchmaking, but it's some sort of update to decrease the skill gap between good players and bad players. Now that there is more RNG involved to the game, since you have to stay in mid, wait for a card, and maybe then press a green card and goes in a combo, as we said earlier. I mean, I don't hate the update. I don't think the game is unplayable, but I think they should have like removed the PV from long range, and they should haven't touched the vanish removal when backfloating. But because as you said, I think it's not always camping. It's sometimes it's also the only choice you have, you know?
Yeah, so they said we did it in order to not promote passive play. The thing is if they got rid of the long range perfect vanish, that makes it easier to have aggressive play. That was one of the things that made people not be as aggressive. They had to wait for you to sidestep, so they couldn't get perfect vanish long range. But now that they removed that, people would be more motivated to initiate an attack. Even if they're backing up, I can now initiate an attack, not worry about getting perfect vanish right away. So I think they should have tried that first and see how that changed the landscape versus both. I think it was this. I'm going on a rant, but this right here is just like the boost system in the game. They made that because whenever you summon for a new character, they were only at 2 stars, low stats, and Zenkai characters were too good, and you just never had a chance to try them out. So they made the boost system for that. But at the same time, they made it so that characters now give you 1200 Z power or 2000 Z power. So it's like you did 2 things to try to rectify one mistake, but now it's too much. It's the same thing here. If they just removed long range perfect vanish and experimented with that, I think it would have been better.
Another question about the game, it's about the tier list. It's kind of a controversial question, this, because from what I can see, there are a lot of tier lists made in America and other in Europe, and they are so different. I mean, I don't know why. I don't know how the meta feels like in America, but in Europe it seems like it's different. I don't know, man. But the question is not about tier lists, because of course you can't know if the meta is different or not. But the question is about what do you think about the tier list? Do you think they matter or what? What do you think about the tier list? Because I don't think I ever saw a tier list made by you, if I'm not wrong.
I think there is some value behind tier lists, but the problem is people take too much value out of a tier list. They let a tier list decide how they feel about a character. The tier lists that you see are just subjective opinions and experiences that people have with characters while playing the game. And I think the reason why in different queues you have different tier lists is because the characters that they value highly are a reflection of how well they can handle the players that are in their queue. So for example, in North America, I will be honest, oftentimes it's said that North America is the weakest queue, whereas in Europe and Japan, you find far more competitive, more highly skilled players. I think you know, in North America, you'll sometimes find characters that provide a lot of defensive utility rated higher,
Yeah.
probably because maybe that's just a reflection of how they're playing and what they're dealing with. Like maybe they get perfect vanished a lot, so having a defensive character to disrupt is a lot valuable to them. Whereas in Europe and in North America, where they don't get perfect vanish, Europe or Japan, where they don't get perfect vanished as much because
Yeah, they're kind of passive.
Yeah, it's not that it's passive, it's just they don't make as many mistakes. The characters that allow them to really punish offensively when they finally capture the opponent are rated higher.
Oh,
Like in
that's a
North
good
America, in North America, Yellow Goku Black was rated highly by a lot of people, mainly because this is the endurance, disrupt, somewhat tanky character. Whereas in Europe and Japan, people thought that this guy is really not that great. He didn't feel very impactful. Where, you know, that's just a good example of that. And I guess even for us, like I think in Europe and in North America, they really valued Beast Gohan. They said that he is definitely better than Ultra Majin Vegeta, whereas in North America, they still felt Ultra Majin Vegeta was better, probably because the counter gauge, second life, debuffing. So I think tier lists do provide some value, but they're not an absolute truth. And the problem with them is people just they just take absolute truth out of a tier list when it's just a subjective opinion of how people think about characters. I don't make tier lists because everyone's mileage will vary. Some people will say Green Super Saiyan 3 Goku is the best character in the game because of normal conditions, don't bother him, easy cover null, anti-insurance, he just beats up everyone. Okay, that's just how you feel. Some people think Ultra Majin Vegeta is #1. Okay, that's just how you feel. That's just, Beast Gohan. Okay, that's just how you feel.
Talking about the future of the game, we are kind of near to the 7th anniversary. It's crazy to think about, since Legends Fest was like one week ago, I guess, and they've announced big changes for the 7th anniversary. What do you expect about those changes coming to the game?
I think Legends has realized that they have not fully met the potential of how the quality that they can make out of these characters. I think them talking about demanding stronger devices a few months ago is a reflection of that. They're saying, hey, listen, we're gonna take the band-aid off. We're gonna try and make higher quality ultras, higher quality legendary finish characters. And I think a big one is going to be environments. I think the Succession, Trunks, and Gohan is such a good example of this, because when the KO screen at the end, the LF, I think this is a good example of a character where it shows they're trying. And we also noticed right away how much the environment impacted the quality of the character. Like LF Broly, all he got was a pillar, and we were thinking, wow, this is an amazing LF, only because he gets a pillar. That's it. We're so used to seeing them just get beamed or punched or whatever in the middle of the sky, but we see at the ground, we see the lighting change, we see rain, we see rocks. All of a sudden we realize that this is what they're missing, and this is a complete tinfoil hat theory, but I think 7th year anniversary could introduce Ultra LFs.
Ooh.
Now, I'm not saying I'm not saying I want it, for the record, before anyone gets their pitchforks. I'm not saying I want it, but I think 7th year is where we see our first Ultra LF, and I think it's going to be a dramatic finish, not legendary finish, dramatic finish, destructible environment or something along those lines. I think they want to up the ante, and we already know ultras aren't the highest rarity. We know that because back when legendary finish characters first came out, I think their drop rate was 0.25%. Ultra characters are 0.35. They have never gone back to the 0.25. I think they're saving that number for their highest rarity thing. It's going to be an ultra legendary finish. It's like Dokkan. There's Dokkan Fest, legendary rare, but we also have Dokkan Fest legendary rare characters.
Would you like to have like more ultras in a single banner? Before you answer, I'd say no, because imagine summoning for the new ultra and see the ultra animation, but it's not the new ultra, man.
but see here, this is where I want to talk about them bringing new summon animations. That's the difference.
Yeah, that was another question.
Yeah, like even I guess so for me, I would say yes, I would like multiple ultras on a banner. First of all, it won't hurt your rate of pulling the new character. It just provides more value for the banner. But number two, I think it's a great way for them to be incentivized for new summon animations. Like actually, I'll let you ask the question first before I talk about it. But I'll let you go.
No, go ahead. That was a question.
So the reason
go ahead.
the reason why I think they should introduce new ones is because we have animations that guarantee a new character, right? Let's say you get there's a new LF and a new 1% character, and you get the the Trunks animation. Okay, you're getting one of the two. But what if you already pulled one of the two? What if you have the 1% already and you get the Bardock animation or the Trunks animation or the screen crack animation? None of those mean you got the other new character you're missing. They just mean you're getting one of the two. So that little gap for guaranteeing a new character still exists. A new summon animation should go right there. It's been like 50 years already. Come on now. 5 years? They make enough money. They're not an indie company. They can afford to make new characters and summon animations. Come on now.
Yeah, I think they can, man. Talking about Ultras and 7th anniversary, man, give me a quick prediction of the new Ultra. I mean, who do you think will be the Ultra for the 7th anniversary? I mean,
normally,
I think it's a pretty easy one, to be honest.
I was pretty much sold on it being MUI Goku, but I don't want to say any spoilers, but Daima just recently concluded, and the finale is what I think the Ultra will be. It's 50-50 for me now.
For me, in my opinion, to me, it's going to be MUI Goku because of the change to the combat system, I mean, the UIs are the only character who allows you to actually backfloat now. So that's why I think it's going to be MUI. Well, actually, I recently made my last video on YouTube where I talked about the combat system. And I say that I think they're going to power creep the game not by creating a problem and selling you the solution, as you said, but I think they're going to power creep the game by creating new characters who actually have maybe a more faster vanish restoration. For example, I don't know if you saw it, but if you read the kit of the new Green Cell Zenkai, on his main ability, actually, he have a vanish restoration faster than usual for like 10 timer counts. So I think they're probably going to balance the game now by creating characters who manipulate the vanish instead of having brain dead mechanics.
It's funny that you say that because they've already done it. The new instant transmission Goku is not punished by this mechanic. So I'll give you a scenario. You know how if you back up and your opponent goes for a tackle, and let's say you use a strike card, because you backed up and use a strike, you don't have vanish, and so your opponent can now attack you.
Goku does.
If you do it with the instant transmission Goku, you can do that. You can vanish because he earns 10% using the cards. They've already done it. It's already there.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't remember that. That's true, man. Thanks for letting me know, man.
Yeah,
I didn't remember that.
This is something that Goresh and I when we were testing out, I pointed out to him. I said, look, he's just one of the few characters that doesn't get punished. And then because they know everyone's in mid-range just spamming out sidesteps, hey, look, here's a guy that has not only an AoE green, but he draws it on sidestep. They made him for the battle system.
The last question you probably already know, it's related to Dragon Ball Daima. It's just finished. What do you think about the series? Did you like it or what?
It's
you can be totally honest. It's a safe place here.
No, I know. It's just I want to make sure I articulate it well. I think Daima was good, but it was one of those shows where it didn't idle well. When it had a low period, it sank to the bottom. But when it had a high period, it was the hypest thing in the world. Daima, when it took the time to explain the world, diversify the lore, introduce new characters, expand the world of Dragon Ball, beautiful. It was a high point. This is what we love about the world. When we got to see how there were still plays being done during the Majin Buu saga. Fantastic. I love that. The whole Ears lore, Demon World, Namekians, where they come from, Shin and his siblings, where he came from. All of that, fascinating. I love that. But 8 episodes of Goku and his friends fighting tomato cans, struggling, having to go Super Saiyan, the ship breaking 5 times. That's an absolute low period. But then everything, episode 12, I don't want to spoil it. I don't know how far your viewers got in, but episode 12, wow, what a beautiful high period. Answered a question we had for 2 decades. The finale, the final confrontation, all the major battles, beautiful, 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 all amazing. So if I had to average it out, I think it's like an all right or good show. The way that they ended it is very Toriyama-esque. That's where they left it with
that was the
a
question.
joke at the end. Did
you like it?
It was definitely in his style. So in that regard, I did. Because I really just took Daima at face value. It's just, it's like a fun, lighthearted adventure. It's Toriyama's, fun little project where he wanted to not only inspire or remind a new generation of Dragon Ball fans, but even for the OG people, because we saw so many references to the Majin Buu saga, to GT, to even Saiyan saga, everything. We saw so many tributes to moments that we would remember, and we also got refreshed on what the purpose of the show was, and the Dragon Balls and the characters that we had, and it did a good job of paying respect to each kind of viewer to the show. And it was just a fun adventure.
Well, to be honest, I didn't hate it. My only issue with the finale was that why they didn't even try it to explain us, for example, the Super Saiyan 4 instead of telling us the Goku already has it. Or, for example, why they didn't try to connect it to Dragon Ball Super. I mean, was it that difficult, man? I mean, I can accept the fact that Toriyama trolled us with the fact that you can buy the Oculus from the store, alright? But I cannot fucking accept the fact that you don't even try to justify your choice. You know what I mean?
I think they knew it would raise a lot of questions, and they wanted people to make up their own answers. I think that's what they wanted to leave with, because they knew regardless of the answer they could have gave, I think not everyone was going to be happy. Do you know what I mean? I think they would rather everyone make up their own answer for it. I mean, like, think about it. Remember what happened at, was it episode 3 or 4 with the bugs? That never seemed to be a thing either. I think they just
they baited us.
Yeah, I think they knew what people's expectations were and how much they want explanations for things. And instead of trying to come up with one, they just said, I will give you this week one, and then you come up with answers yourself. I guess that's just what it was.
And talking about Daima for the last time, do you think Legend will focus more on Daima in the anniversary or before the anniversary?
I think once the Cell Saga campaign ends, we get the floodgates for Daima, because we have so many things to get.
Yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah, like, let's be honest here. Everything that happened in the last 3 episodes, everyone is going to want that before they give us everything that happened from, like, episode 12 and before. So they have to get those first. They have no choice but to get those out first. So I say late March, early April is when the floodgates open for those. Maybe a little cool down period in late May or middle of May, and then anniversary, maybe part 1 or part 2 is more Daima.
Yeah, they usually don't drop any banner on May, if I'm not wrong.
Didn't they last year?
No, I think in the last 2 years they didn't release any banner on the May, apart of the first anniversary banner. I think
no, but I was thinking, but don't they do Mega Risings?
I don't think so. To be honest, I had to check, but I don't think, man.
Oh,
I think I think they give us the May to save Chrono Crystals for the anniversary.
Okay, that's even better then. But all I know is the schedule this year has been a bit off on things.
Yeah, it's something is off on the office, you know.
Yeah, something is a bit off. So it could, our expectation would then be that maybe it's going to be a bit of a quiet period around then. But I do expect Daima to come out before anniversary. I expect something. I expect a lot, actually.
Yeah, I mean,
expect a lot. We have so many characters we gotta get.
Yeah, expectations are so high, man. I mean, we all know also that the only thing you're waiting it's a Super Saiyan 3 transforming Goku to Super Saiyan 4, probably, right?
Well, I was so happy with how the respect they gave Super Saiyan 3 in Daima. I loved it. Not only was the form very cool, but it performed. It did what it needed to do.
Yeah,
I know people are gonna argue with me on that one, but listen. When it came time to it, and when it answered the call, okay, what happened at the end is not fair because no one was going to win. We know that no form was gonna win at the end.
Yeah.
So you can't blame it specifically on Super Saiyan 3. No form was gonna win. That was per design.
Yeah, I have only one issue with Super Saiyan 3. I actually really like it. I really like the design. The main issue with me with Super Saiyan 3 is every time Goku turns Super Saiyan 3, he does an insane scream, an insane scene to transform into it, and then do absolutely nothing. That's the main issue. I do remember on the Tournament of Power, it turned Super Saiyan 3 for how much?
Like 5 seconds. I know. I got baited that episode so bad. I got baited so bad. I'm like, oh my goodness, finally. Yes, let's see what happens. And then boom, immediately he de-transforms. I'm like, wow, what was that for?
Bro, they hate you, and they probably hate Super Saiyan 3 for some reason also on Legends. I mean, the only time they release a good Super Saiyan 3, it's an annoying one.
Yeah, I know. There's no winning for me. I can only be, you're either good, cool, or you know what, screw it. Basically I'll never be satisfied. I'm never gonna get a complete character that's just, he checks off all the boxes. He can't be good, he can't be fresh, and he can't be fun to fight. You're either 2 of the 3 always.
Anyways, one last question. Have you ever been to Italy?
I have, yeah.
Yeah, where?
Yeah, I went on vacation. I stayed in Rome. I visited Pompeii, climbed Mount Vesuvius. I did a lot of touristy things, so like Colosseum, Trevi Fountain. I went to. I did a lot of just just being on the ground and exploring the city myself, just on foot. But I came. When did I go? Did I go in October? I think I went when it was very hot. Oh my goodness, it was a mistake.
Very hot.
It was very hot when I came. It was
probably
for me 30, 31, 32 every day. So
yeah,
stairs.
Probably it was August or September, I guess.
Yeah, I came at a time where I know it was very warm. I remember I was talking to Libra about it because I did say oh, I'm thinking of going.
Is Greek, right?
Yeah, he's Greek,
yeah.
but he's giving me some tips. I think he has a lot of travel experience, but I remember saying hey, I'd love to get your input. Anyone that's been there, what do you recommend I see, food to try? Just because that's what I like to do when I travel. Learn a little bit more about culture, food, people, and that's what I did. It was very hot.
Anyways, thank you so much for all the answers, man.
Thank you for having me here. This is great.
A good interview. And would you like to say hi to our Italian viewers in Italian? Would you like to try it?
Yeah, let's try it. Ciao a tutti dal vostro Raiden. Un saluto a tutta l'Italia, vi voglio bene.
Yeah, that's perfect, man. That's actually perfect.
Okay.
Congratulations, man. Congratulations.
Grazie.